All right. Welcome back to another Clearmud live stream. Today is all about ideation and vibe coding. We're going to finish what we started on Friday. And yeah, what has Squirrel do? Yeah, so just to start here, let's actually, depending on where you are in the world, the time changed. And I went ahead and created this poll. So please go in and vote. This is for the live streams. Looks like we got 5 votes and it's looking like we're gonna have to move to 4 p.m. Lisbon based off of a majority vote. But today I decided to meet in the middle, right? Time change doesn't occur here until I believe the 28th or the 29th. So there's a 3-week discrepancy of, instead of being 8 hours ahead of Pacific, we're only 7 hours ahead of Pacific. So I want to find, a middle ground that works for everybody. So please go and vote. Majority is going to win it. And this is going to apply to the boot camps as well. Okay. This is going to apply essentially to all live streams until the time changes here in Europe. Figured I'd just call a vote. So let me know what you guys think. How's everyone doing today? What are we building? Let's see. Let me make sure chat's live. I'm gonna make sure we pull this up. Clear that. Put that on screen. Yo, what's up, Zen? It's been a while. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, so I'm going to get straight into it. Man, shout out to everyone who stayed on that 5 or 6 hour live stream. I forget how many hours it was at this point on Friday. That pizza was delicious, by the way, at the end of the stream. I went ahead and prepped this kind of architecture doc and deployment plan doc for Prompt Browser, right? Because I started to kind of think of, maybe we launch it in 3 phases. Maybe phase 1 is a place where you can go to view all extractable prompts from Clearmud videos. Then phase 2, we incorporate the extract feature for the public. And here's why. The reason I was running into some issues is, yt-dlp does have a limit. And when I spammed yt-dlp to extract prompts from all these videos on Friday's live stream, well, my public IP address was banned, or rate limited rather, for, I think it was 24, almost 48 hours. Well, I use yt-dlp for a lot of my internal tools. So I couldn't download transcripts for other various workflows that I have. So I was like, oh, this is going to be an issue. Like, let's say we go live and the server we're hosting this on, let's say there's too many, prompts coming in or rather too many incoming, extract requests coming in to where it's going to stop working at some point. So then I started looking into a solution to where yt-dlp will only run based off of the user's IP. But then I ran into a whole bunch of errors and with that approach. So I'm like, man, I'm really trying to think like, what's the best approach here? And I figured we'd just discover it live here. So what's up, Supreme? How you doing today? Enjoying these longer days? I don't have those yet here. We will though. Hey, thank you, Zen. I'll do my best. Listen, the best I can do is show my process, and if you have any questions, I can answer them. So shoot. Go live on the 15th of March. Built a 17 doc infra build over the last 1.5 months to prepare my OpenClaw for pulling together the best practices. Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing what you deploy. Keep us posted. And I decided, off air, I decided a new rule. I'm not going to just blindly keep the Discord open for everybody on the YouTube channel. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop links in our live streams. And once those expire, you just have to wait for the next live stream to join. Okay, I think that's going to be the best approach moving forward. So Whispers, I can't remember if you're in the Discord or not, but come share what you're building. It'd be the best place to ping me to also see it right away. Let's see. We'll drop 10 uses right now. Expires after 7 days. Whoops. That was the wrong link. There's the right link. Okay, we good. All right. So I mean, I think the best, let's just go over this doc here really quickly. Okay, so that's also an issue there. yt-dlp can't run on Vercel serverless. I mean, in all reality, if I were to drop this tool today, how many people here would actually want to go and extract prompts from a YouTube video? I'm curious. I'm very curious. It's interesting why it's not showing the, we're just gonna spin up a fresh session here. Okay. Build 2 businesses with Lovable, which I'll be handing over to my OpenClaw team in stages to manage autonomously, and then hope to offer consulting services in UK to replicate my build. Nice, nice. Good stuff. Building out a super cool agent that works in a digital audio workspace. While making music, it analyzes your entire track and gives you recommendations without actually composing any. Interesting. Nice, nice. I'm looking forward to testing this and seeing it. You know, I don't make music, but I have a friend who does, and I can forward it his way to see if it's a useful tool for him. You know, I believe he's like a producer more than anything. I don't know the correct terminology, right? But and I have another friend who's an audio engineer. He's in LA. Yeah, so far it's been working great. You know, I hate how vague they are, but listen, they'd be shooting themselves in the foot for them to outright ban. I think if anything, they're going to only allow OpenClaw integrations through the max $200 a month plan, right? Yeah, because I think once you start these types of tools, you really want people in that industry to test them, right? Because the average person may look at it and be like, yeah, this is cool. I don't know the implications it has, right? I don't know how accurate it is, but, you know, giving it to someone who actually makes music and, you know, makes beats for artists, not only beats, but just like entire tracks, I feel like that would be the feedback you want the most, I'd imagine, right? Could be wrong, though. All right. Let's go grab this new channel. Shout out Derek for the idea. Let's see.
I just built a budgeting app. What?
What's weird is I have a pop-up blocker on Arc browser. I only use this for streams and videos, but it just doesn't seem to be working. Okay. I mean, basic. Okay, kind of skip the beat here on this transcript. I'm guessing OpenClaw config. Nice. I mean, great. That's solid. All right. So I think it's time we start vibing. All right, please, we have a fresh session here. Please analyze the docs directory for the architecture and the deployment plan. You know, I'm having second thoughts with the deployment plan. I think it should just be 2 phases. Phase 1, we launch beta. Phase 2, we incorporate user auth, as well as a save feature for them to build their own libraries. I also see here in the existing deployment plan, our yt-dlp that we're using for fetching transcripts is not going to work on Vercel. If that's the case, you know, we can launch on Railway. But the issue I want to make sure we don't run into is with yt-dlp, it will rate limit you based off of your public IP address. So I'm wondering, is there an alternative that we could use that, depending on the user's public IP address, accessing the website, accessing the web app, the transcript gets fetched from that IP address? What are the implications here? What are the solutions? I want you to do a deep dive and be methodical for me, please. Okay. We're going to get started on that version. Yeah, I could imagine, right? I could imagine, especially with Sora. Sora is pretty amazing. Or no, not Sora. What's that one? Sora is the ChatGPT one. Suno. Suno, I think, is the name I'm thinking of. Yeah, Suno. Okay, nice. Right? It actually like teaches people rather than try to generate things. Nice, nice. Let's go. No, I do not use anything locally right now. Everything's via API at the moment, right? Primarily because of hardware limitations and restrictions on my end. That won't always be the case, but I do look forward to testing local models when it makes sense for me. But that probably won't be for another month or 2 at least. I think I heard of this. Are you talking about Loop? I heard of some announcement from Anthropic. Is that what you're referencing? Anthropic. No, that's too old. Where's Loop? Let's just search Claude Loop. Okay, so it looks like 2 days ago, right? You can set like automations that kind of run itself, right? In your Cloud Code project. Run prompts on a schedule is what they call it. I haven't tested this personally. I do have a video planned for this, but you know what? Let's actually take that out of the idea bank too. And let's go ahead and generate a script right now while we're at it. All right. Are you talking about the multi-agent setup, maybe? Where you set up like the ability to create agents that essentially handle everything in parallel? If so, I'm well aware of that one. Or was it a recent announcement? Agent teams right here. Is this what you're referencing? If so, I do have a video on how to set it up, and we did a quick demo on, you know, just a base, right? We didn't pre-configure the teams. We didn't pre-specify how many sub-agents we wanted. We just kind of went with the default just to demo it. Like 2 hours ago. Interesting. Okay. I hope Boris made a post about it 2 hours ago. And I'm not following him? Rookie mistake. Let's see. No, 7 hours, 7 hours. What's his name? Tariq? TRQ212. No, I don't see any recent posts of his. Maybe if I just go to Claude.ai, see if it, okay. Yeah, no, I have not heard about this then. If it wasn't an official announcement through Anthropic or Claude, I definitely didn't see this. But I think I'm familiar with that name, Julian Goldie. Doesn't he make videos? I'm guessing it's this one here. Let's go see what's up with this script here. Not a bad approach. Yeah, this is cool. I mean, to me, it's kind of like cron jobs with your OC setup, right? Obviously, you don't have a lot of that intelligence long term. But I can see, you can see them starting to like incorporate certain features, you know, certain capabilities. You know, I wouldn't be surprised for Anthropic to launch their own OC at some point. Obviously, it wouldn't be open source, but I'm liking strategy 2, to be honest, more than 1. Because that's kind of misleading. Let's go strategy 2. And we're going to let that spin out. That's solid. So let's go back and see what Opus has found for us. Where did I put that? Damn. I'm just going to do some of my own research while it's doing its thing as well. Taking its sweet time, huh? I'm now just curious. I'm just deploying the existing repo that we have just to see what errors we run into. So we'll see here in a second. And let me pull up my hosting as well. Yeah, no, a bunch of errors. Okay. We'll sort through that. Let's go to promptbrowser.net, DNS. Just really hoping we could find a free alternative. That's a bummer. Go check Transcript API. kind of like the idea of Transcript API. I think their pricing is a little bit more generous. Yeah, they only allow 300 for 5, whereas Transcript API is 1,000 for 5 a month. I suppose we can do that. Check something here. Yeah, for the first month, let's test out Transcript API. I already have an API key ready for us. I feel like this music is too low too. Let's bring that up just a touch, huh? Let me know if that's too loud. What up, Gob Izzy? How you doing today? Thanks for tuning in. Today we're just vibing. We're doing a little bit of ideation, pushing prompt browser live. So it's a chill day. It's a chill day. And also, if you haven't voted already, due to the time change, half the world versus the other half, trying to figure out the best start time for the live streams for the rest of the month. So go check out, where is it? If you go to our channel and go to posts, you'll see right here, just a little poll. So just vote on your preferred. This is gonna affect the bootcamp as well. So majority wins it. As of now, it looks like 9 a.m. PST, 4 p.m. Lisbon is gonna be the winner, unless that shifts. There's only 6 votes. So if you prefer the other time frames, you still have time to make that happen. That's wild. That's wild. Gotta respect the hustle, but that's wild. Create new key. Prompt browser. And let's add that to calendar. Go view calendar right here. Ooh, there's... Hey, Muddy, there's a clear disconnect here. We just ran a YouTube script output, but the metadata for most of the script didn't meet the video module. Looks like the description did, keywords did, LinkedIn posted, but the main body of the script of the story did not copy over to the video in the content calendar. We got to take a look at that, see what happened. Most recent run was Claude Code has a secret weapon. Save that for a little bit later. Let me actually see if... Yeah, I was manually running some ideas through Muddy, and I think that's what broke it. All right, let's go back to it. Yep, I'm ready when you are. Now I need to set this environment variable on convex, correct? What's up, Young Dream? Hey! Happy to have you here. Let's go. What's up, Raymond? Today we doing a little bit of ideation, a little bit of vibe coding. We're just doing my normal workflow out of Clearmud OS. I mean, I did a lot of the normal workflow earlier today, but we just discovered a little bug. So let's actually prompt, and thank you. Yeah, I wanted to rebuild my own Google Keep kind of note-taking system within the OS. But let's go ahead and prompt Muddy that, shall we? That way he can fix that live for us. But we're just vibe coding this. We're going to push it live. I ran into an issue with the free alternative of yt-dlp, running it locally at least. I essentially rate limited my IP address, and I couldn't run certain tools within Clearmud OS that I have used that. So we're going to pay $5 a month for Transcript API just for testing purposes. We'll see how the first month goes. But I really want to launch this live today, so that people can start using it, not only to go check out past Clearmud videos and pull prompts from it, but also to scan any other videos from any other AI channels that you want to pull prompts from. It's going to be completely free to use for now, especially in beta. You know, maybe we do a pricing model down the road, but I really want to make sure I try to keep it as free as possible for as long as possible. So, you know, if it goes viral and fucking hundreds of thousands, excuse my language, hundreds of thousands of you know, videos get processed, then that's going to cause some issues as far as keeping it free. But I think a moderate 1,000 extracts a month, we can keep that free, no problem. Nice. Yeah, it's a cool feature. It took a little bit to get working how I wanted it to work, but I don't regret putting it in because I can actually apply notes to certain videos. And then when I go inside of the video, for example, I can grab this notes and it'll pull all available notes associated with that video, right? All right, let's go back here. Excuse me. Let me go open that up. Oh, it's interesting. I don't even think we have a Let me just pull this up to be sure. And as you can imagine, I can't show this process because I do not want to expose that API key for people to steal it. So I'm gonna have to keep this part off screen. Whoops, that was something else I copy pasted, wasn't it? Let's go back to that API tab, copy, paste that in there. All right, good to go. I'll address that later. You know, I did not record a video when I put that together. So, and I'll be honest with you, one prompt wouldn't pull that off. Based on my experience, one prompt did not pull that off. That was a lot of back and forth. But if you'd like, I can add a video to my queue to make one, to kind of talk about my process. Now, I believe actually, if I'm not mistaken, because I love that tool so much, right here. I did clone it with 2
How
screenshots.
far can your apps go?
Come on.
Meet
I
base
swear my
44.
pop-up blocker just doesn't want to work on Arc browser. Interesting. Skip.
We have a very fun. I learned how to.
So I gave it
anything.
screenshots and I had it rebuild Google Keep for me.
I'm not an AI expert.
So maybe
CRM,
that's the hack. Screenshot Google Keep and try to rebuild it from screenshots. I literally made a video on it showing me building. I mean, Claude nailed it, to be honest. Claude Code Opus, I think this was Opus 4.6, or maybe even Opus 4.6 wasn't even live yet. Let's go check.
be working out of
Yeah, this is Opus 4.5. That's not even 4.6. So yeah, there you go. There's the answer. I mean, screenshot and try to build it from there. Yeah, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I'm going to have to look into that. Yeah, I can always do another one if you want, but my original rebuild of it was screenshots. And then from there, I wanted to incorporate that. So I tried giving my OC agent that code base from the demo, but it didn't nail it. It was a lot of fine tuning. Certain behaviors that I wanted to work a certain way. Like, you know, this floating icon that's visible across the entire OS, no matter where I am, right? That took a little bit of just vibing back and forth, explaining what I wanted. And then, you know, the drop-in notes feature on each video module in the content calendar, that was another idea, right? So these were additions. But everything else, like the core of how it works is almost identical. Yeah, really though, not bad at all. So it's just running some tests right now. I ran a test on a video for Rick Ashley. Still don't know how to pronounce that. Determined it wasn't a prompt-based video or an AI-based video, so it rejected it. That's wonderful. We already ran this, so let's see. Yeah, it's all store. Okay. I'm gonna run a fresh one. Is this good for me to test in the GUI? Everything's already running. Page could not be found, huh? No, we're good. We're good. So let's go pick another video. Let's go to one of Greg's older videos that we haven't run. I like this one. Let's try this one here.
I just
Yo, what's going on, Derek? Thanks for tuning in. I know we had a bit of a different start to the live stream due to the time zone difference. So whenever you get a chance, go and everyone here. This is going to be dependent on what time the boot camps roll off for the rest of the month as well. Currently, we have a 3-week discrepancy between a 7-hour difference as opposed to a normal 8-hour difference since the time rolled over on Sunday for North America and most of that side of the world. But Europe, we're still at the same time until I believe 3 weeks from now. So there's going to be 3 weeks where it's only a 7-hour difference. So I'm trying to determine, I would prefer to keep it at 5 p.m. Lisbon, but that means it only starts at 10 a.m. PST. But I thought, you know what? We're building together. We're doing this for you more than me. So I'm going to have you decide, right? So majority votes wins it for the live streams for the rest of the month until, of course, Europe catches up. And then we'll go back to that 9 a.m. PST / 5 p.m. Lisbon stream time. What do you mean exactly? Are you asking for my keys? Because I think you already know the answer to that. I'm using a Whisperflow. If you look in the bio, I gotta say, by the way, thank you to everybody who clicks that link in the bio. It's not a paid advertisement. It's just a tool I love to use, and I thought I'd put my little referral thing. Every time somebody signs up, it's a free month for both of us, as long as you use 2,000 words of dictation. I think I have close to, I don't know, I think I'm about to be running this for like 2 years for free. It is so wild to me, get a free month. I'm pretty sure I have 20 months of Pro. This just hasn't updated yet. So thank you to everybody who clicks the link and uses the tool. As I said, this isn't a paid promo. It's just what I use. I have it key bound to F1 for me. Although I've been running into certain issues like in Discord, it'll open up a new tab if I hit F1. So I might need to pick a different hotkey to kind of bind it on and off. But yeah, wait, what are you saying? Yours in the main chat says you can't have access to those keys in main chat? I'm trying to understand what you're saying here. Are you building something with your OC agent? Is this in the CLI? Give me a little bit more context and I can be more helpful. Hey, Supreme. Thanks for the reminder. Hey, you know what? I do all this for free. So do the things that you can do for free to support the channel, like smashing the like button, dropping a comment, and sharing it with a friend. And due to popular demand, I had a lot of people asking me how they can buy me a cup of coffee virtually. Listen, you don't have to do this, but I recently got monetized with YouTube and I got the option to create memberships. I created a very basic membership called Coffee Crew. That's up to you. I'll never ask you to do that, but that's a way for people to buy me a cup of coffee now. So I really appreciate it. Really appreciate the ideas as well and the interest in wanting to buy me a cup of coffee. All right, I mean, it works. So yeah, we have a duplicate guard, right? So I'm glad you detected that. I just ran a fresh test with Greg Eisenberg. Can you please confirm that this utilized this API? And let me go check that API dashboard as well. Yeah, we can see transcript returned 3. Interesting. And I want to confirm, you did 2 tests, right? So you did the Rick Ashley, you did one of our videos that was already double guarded, and then I did 1. So we have 3 total requests processed on Transcript API. Dev server is not running through Cursor. It's running through Ghosty. That's interesting. Oh, I did open Cursor briefly just to, maybe I should just operate out of Cursor, but there's no terminal open here. There's no dev server spun up. So let me just close that. Nice, nice. Hey, you know, happy to test it. Let me know. Looking forward to seeing it. All right. Hey, I cannot. Can you at least give us the bot name? Just give us a little teaser. You don't have to tell us what its purpose is, just what's its name. And you don't have to answer that. I'm just trying to get more information out of you, Derek. Cool, cool. Right on. Well, I can confirm it is pulling those API requests from Transcript API's dashboard. So now I think the next step is let's just launch this. Let's YOLO, let's go live. I think we need to first make sure we migrate from Convex development database to the production database. So we'll need to seed all that data and carry over all the data and work that we've done in testing. Push a, we'll also need to set up a staging versus production GitHub kind of branch workflow. But for now, let's just push to production. And then once we have a nice beta live, I'll start working out of a staging environment. Let me know what else I'm missing. I'd like to push this live within the hour. Got it. That's what you mean. Okay. It should be able to do, I believe it's called a REST API request, where yes, you put it through Telegram, but it's calling from your local setup. So wherever you are in the world or outside of your network that your Mac Mini is set up in, right? Everything operates and happens on the Mac Mini. So I think it's talking to your agent and explaining that you'd like to be able to request through Telegram or through Discord or through whatever other channels you have, regardless of what IP address you're in, but then it should be able to call that API call locally. That would be my approach to trying to get that to work. Yeah, and another thing is like putting API keys into your Telegram channel. Is that what you're saying? So you're trying to feed it API keys to configure whatever you have set up with your system? That should work. I don't see why not. I could see OpenClaw saying, please don't share API keys in this chat, but like, how else are you going to share it, right? Unless you manually update a config file. All my bots are Game of Thrones characters, roles relevant to the nice. I'm gonna presume that you have a Sir Duncan the Tall now, right? with that latest spinoff. Which, by the way, I loved. I just did not love the length of the episodes. That killed me. I felt like shows of The Office, which I love The Office. 20-minute, 30-minute episodes, but Game of Thrones was known for being hour long. So for those to only be 30 minutes long, that killed me. Yeah, it'll give it away. Hey, I respect the privacy. I had to try a TV movie character. So it could be anything. It could be anything. Watched again last night with the wife and thought, why don't I have this person? I'm trying to think if I can guess this. Yeah, I don't think I know enough about. Yeah, no. I could guess, but I could be wrong, and I wouldn't want you to say I'm right or wrong. I'll be patient and wait for you to share. Me, personally, I do not, no. Because I don't open up my OC setup or my systems to the outside world. It's local only right now. I just don't need that, personally. That will change down the road, and once I set that up and have a little more experience with it, I'll make videos around it. But for now, I make videos around things I've thoroughly tested and stand behind. So I'm not going to make a video around VPS hosting and things like this because, listen, I haven't had enough hands-on with those setups to feel confident to make a video that would bring you value. Yeah, I hope that answers it. I know you responded yes, but I hope that answers it. You need to communicate that with your agent, that all of those API pull requests should be done locally, right? But you can trigger them via your Telegram session, Discord session, etc., from outside of that network. Yeah, that hurt me too. Hey, and at the beginning too. All right, we're going to go nerd out real quick. At the beginning, when he called himself Egg, and then what part of the, I can't remember episode 3 or 4, when the witch or whatever predicted. And I was like, that moment when it said Egg would become king and et cetera, I was like, I don't want to spoil it. I was like, oh, that's him. And I was like, okay. And I figured it out. Like, obviously they put that nugget in there for people to figure it out on their own, but most people didn't, I'd imagine, right? Didn't catch that at first. I thought that was an awesome little snippet. Yeah, this right here is key, right? When it tells you it can't do something, ask for options, ask for workarounds. And then a key thing that you should drop in there is say, please reference the docs.openclaw.ai documentation, right? That has the rolling docs of everything that your agent can do. So it might say, I can't do that because of limitations due to plugins or something not enabled in the config properly. But if you tell it, give me options, also reference the docs section on the website for openclaw.ai, you'll find a workaround. 10 times out of 10, you'll always find a workaround. So thank you for dropping that note there. So the thing about me and books, I read business books, strategy books, books that give me formulas for things, right? Books that teach me how to be a better person or a better, person in business or, create better products. But when it comes to fiction and fantasy books, I just can't read them. There's just been something about it for me. I have to watch it. I've never read any of the books from any of these fantasy shows or movies. I've only watched the movies because that's just the type of reader that I am. I just can't read a fiction book. It took me many years in life to be okay with that. Okay. Out of curiosity, why did you choose Supabase? Why not Convex? Just curiosity. This is not me trying to tell you to go to Convex. Just very curious. And of course, great. Thanks for exposing my keys. So now I'm going to have to generate new keys. Wonderful. Hey, yo, we are live streaming right now and you just exposed those keys on stream. So I'm about to go delete those and generate new ones. Come on, Claude. I probably should have prefaced with that. I didn't tell him we were live streaming in that session. Oh, wonderful. And delete. And delete. That was great. That was great. I doubt anybody could have acted that quick on it. And maybe most didn't even notice it, but I did. And that's not cool. That's not cool. Create a new API key here. Create new. So let me just pull this off screen since we're gonna have to expose it in the CLI. You guys can't see this process, I'm sorry. I just don't want to have to redo this after the fact. All right, you can rotate everything. I'll manually enter in the, well, the YouTube API and Gemini API are one and the same. I've essentially enabled that off of both of those services through that one API key. So I want you to reset everything else, and then I have a fresh Transcribe API as well as Gemini API for us. Okay, nice. Yeah, man, Harry Potter, I remember when I was being forced through middle school or whatever grade school I was in to read it. I knew this as a kid. I never liked reading fiction books. That's just me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and listen, I have the only vendetta I have against Supabase, it's not even a vendetta, it's an opinion, it's a dislike, is how much they try to upsell when you sign up for the base $20 a month. You would think that you can set custom domains, at least one included, right? I discovered this with one of my first tools I built, where I hated the fact that when you go through the Google Auth, it gives you that random, that public facing database ID for your Supabase ID. And then if you want to replace that with a custom domain, you have to pay. I thought, oh, let me just pay the $20 a month. No, it's $20 a month plus an upsell, right? All the upsells they do are really annoying. Now, I still use Supabase for one of my projects because I just vowed to never pay all these little upsells. The reason I'm kind of navigating towards Convex is a lot of people in the industry have vouched for it, and they include at least one custom domain set up for free on a free account. I don't even have to pay for it yet, and it works. So it's kind of like, for me, it's like, ooh, I really love their attention to detail there with not trying to upsell you. I could be wrong though on the free account. I can't remember if I started paying for it or not, to be honest. There's just too much to manage off the top of my head. But yeah, I use Supabase. Yeah, and listen, like I said, there's nothing wrong with Supabase. Supabase is great. I still use it, right? But moving forward, I'm now practicing using Convex because I love their transparency and their pricing and the fact they don't try to upsell you on a simple custom domain feature that should be included with any $20 a month sub. In my opinion, that's just my little gripe. That's all. Yeah, Raz Mike has a lot of breakdowns. I think he's actually a part of the Convex team now. Just a lot of other creators are now, really sharing more videos with Convex. It's something worth looking into. I'm not telling you to migrate your entire app right now. But me moving forward, I am you know, I'd rather give Convex my money than Supabase my money because at least they're transparent with their pricing. You know, that's just the type of person I am. By the way, Clearmud, what's your name and how are you managing backups? Just offloading the GitHub. Yeah, so I do 2 backups for redundancy purposes. Is I have a Google Drive backup and then a GitHub private repo backup. The reason I have the Google Drive set up is Muddy has his own workspace account. I'm paying the extra $25 a month for him to be independent. So we have a shared network drive that he pushes all the backups to. I did this to prepare for the day where my free GitHub account for that repo maxes out. I think it's a 2 gig max. We're not close there yet, but I wanted to at least have 2 sources of backups. And then as far as what is my name is, I'm gonna send you on an Easter egg hunt, and I'm gonna guess that you haven't watched through the end of any of my long form videos, because at the end of every long form video I have, I give you my name. But it's also in the bio of the YouTube channel. Andra, it's John Smith, wink, wink. I mean, it's John Smith depending on what country you're in. It's like the John Smith of Portuguese. It's so common over here, it's crazy. I thought about Firebase as well, but I do like that Supabase has a free tier. Yeah, they have a great free tier, don't get me wrong. Like, listen, I know it sounded like I was dumping on Supabase. I wasn't. It was just my gripe with the upsells and the lack of transparency out of the gate, right? Because their pricing model says custom domains in the $20 a month tier, but they don't specify that it's additional. And I went through the process of signing up and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I don't like that. It's just if you're, I don't know if it's OCD or nitpicky like me, but when you're setting up a Google Auth for your app, you'll notice that with the free account, when you go through the Google Auth setup, that pop-up page where you select your Google profile, on the left, you're gonna see a domain there. And chances are it's gonna be XYZ blah, 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 supabase.co. Well, most people won't notice that, right? But for me, I want to have my domain listed there. Well, Convex allows you to do that, I believe, with their base tier, whereas Supabase, they tell you to sign up, and then you sign up, and then you have to pay another 10 or 15 a month just to configure a custom domain. That's just my little gripe. That's all. That's all. Marcelo. I'll give you a hint. It's Marcelo. Okay, interesting. I have SiteGround as well because of their reliability and their uptime. I host a lot on like, I think it's $30 a month. So I try to host as much as I can off of that account, but I'm phasing out of it slowly but surely because I primarily in my older web design days of building on top of WordPress and handing it off to the client, I don't do that anymore, right? So all of my line of work now has changed significantly as far as like what I use on the back end. Okay, nice. Hey, if it works, I stand behind the approach of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I've had to take this approach with a lot of different projects because I'll try to improve things that don't need to be improved, right? And then I end up causing issues. I can end up breaking something. So it's something I really try to live off of. Yeah. You know, Firebase, I think I deployed one thing for free there. But I have now just completely shifted. I'm now just moving forward, building things with Convex personally. But that's just me. Listen, I'm not telling you to do it. Definitely do your research first. Do I do website dev? Elaborate a little bit more. Do I build websites? Yes, I do. Do I manage websites? Yes, I do. Do I deploy them? Yes, that's right up my wheelhouse. From my my past experience as a network engineer, DevOps is just hand in hand. I can't respond to this because it'll affect. I have to think about like profanity and what I respond to. Nobody, man. Listen, I made a video that I was just excited to make, to share my system of all these countless hours I've spent in OpenClaw. And that video blew up. And then that trajectory of that video has had this ripple effect to the rest of the channel. And that video inspired me to not make a course, right? One thing you'll learn on this channel is I will never sell you a school course. I will never paywall content. I will never ask for monthly money just to give you content. That's just not my thing. I think that all the best content should be free for the public, for life. That's why I started that bootcamp last week. It's going to last 5 total episodes, right? It's my belief that if I put as much time and energy as possible into providing as much value as possible in live streams and long form videos, that the ROI of that will be 100 times that of me making 10, 15, 20,000 on a course a month through, you know, a $20 to $100 a month sub on school. It doesn't feel right to do that. So I'm not going to do that, right? And listen, I show up every day. I show up every week. I'm consistent. I think a lot of the growth has to do with consistency as well. It was always my goal to first get to 100 long form videos before I even think about niching down. I still very much experiment with different formats and different video topics because I'm not even near close to 100. I think on the channel it shows 98, but that includes live streams. If you just factor in the videos, I think we're at 72. So I still have another 30 videos with the mindset of, with each video I create, do something better than the last. And, you know, I've gotten significantly better than the first few weeks I was doing this. So yeah, listen, I just show up every day and I'm going to keep showing up every day regardless. So I appreciate it, man. And listen, like I see some of my content and I don't think it stopped here. I really appreciate this feedback. I just try to get better with each video. I know I'm not perfect, and there's a reason I have my outro the way it's set, because I'm not an AI expert, right? I don't think there's very few people who can claim to be AI experts. So I'd rather be transparent about that. We're building in public. We're learning together. We're growing together, right? I'm getting better with you each week that you follow along. You'll notice the videos should improve, right? Nice, run a Christmas lighting business, building a CRM. Then I started hearing about OpenClaw and wanted to be able to use it for running ads and cold. Nice, nice. Well, hey, listen, I want to see people win. What's the link to your website? Let's pin that up here. I'd like to check it out. And if anybody's looking for Christmas lighting, you know what? Maybe go check them out. I don't know this person. This is not a paid advertisement, but I want to see people win. I want to see people win. Nice. Yeah. Share it in the Discord, man. I'd love to see it. So, yeah, Andra, good point. Listen, I played with it a little bit. And I don't want to dump on them, but I think it's for a specific target audience. I don't like the fact that I loved the simplicity of the setup, but to me, it just felt like I was prompting an LLM. The look, the feel, the fact that the data is not in my control, that I can't edit those config files, that I can't have full access to that workspace, I didn't like it. So I think it has its use case for certain people, but you know, will I tell you to go use Manus's agent integration with Meta over OpenClaw? No, I would not. I don't even think I'll make a video on it because I didn't like the experience in the initial first impression of setting it up myself and testing it. Just didn't like it. Yeah, so I will eventually, right? I want to keep testing with it first before I rush into making a video. You'll notice on this channel, like something will come out and my video related to it generally follows longer than a few days, sometimes even 2 weeks after it's released. And that's because I don't like rushing into making videos just because something was released to capture that attention. I'd rather test it thoroughly before I even think about making a video around it because I'd rather know what I'm talking about rather than just blindly writing a script because something is trending and something is going viral, some topic's going viral. I'm just not that type of person. I'm sure that's hindering the growth of this channel for me not wanting to chase those types of clicks, but I just don't want to chase clicks in general here. So that's just my approach. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's go. Let's go. Happy to hear it. Built my own shop OS mission control with an idea brainstorming component. It's great. We go back and forth until my agent feels it. Nice. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, I hope you share that. Share some screenshots of the process. I'd love to see what you built. Meant for the Xmas tree running ads could be interesting. Yeah. as I just completely dump on it. Excuse me. If you scroll up in chat, try to use that link first. We'll wait till all those links expire. I think there was 10 invites that were sent out at the beginning of this live stream. Hey, I appreciate you. Yeah, you know, sadly, you know, people will launch a free OpenClaw thing just to shill you something else. It's a common strategy, you know. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I'm not concerned with the bottom line long term. I am. But I think short term, it's all about building trust, right? It's all about building authority and making Clearmud the go-to to making AI simple and easy to use, not behind a paywall, not trying to shill you something, not trying to upsell you on a product, right? I think long term, it'll pay off. Short term, I just have to keep doing side work to pay my bills, which I'm totally chill with, right? But, you know, at some point I would like to make this my full time. I don't know when that will be, you know, I can estimate, but listen, I'm just going to keep showing up every day. And when that time comes, you know, I'm patient. So listen, I can give you a brief overview of my understanding, but I would much rather you go check out RazMike. Let's see, videos. Let me go give you a good video. So he talks about his tech stack here. Go subscribe. He's a great channel. I need to reach out to him at some point, but I believe he was hired onto the team of Convex. He makes a lot of videos about Convex. I believe one of his older ones though, where was it? Yeah, maybe I'm tripping. Was it a live stream? I don't even think he does live streams. Who did that? Convex, Supabase comparison. I'll eventually make one of these types of videos. I'm just not there yet. Okay, it was Theo actually a month ago.
Imagine being able.
I'm sure if you're not already subscribed to Theo, he's a rather large channel. I would go check out this video. He breaks it down technically better than I could. So I'll let you guys go learn from them. Yeah, they can. Like the bigger selling point with Convex is real-time synchronization, whereas Supabase requires queries back and forth. That's like one of the biggest selling points on Convex for me, as well as them being more transparent with their pricing and the allotted number of free accounts and free projects you can set up. Those are like the top 3 selling points for me. But if you want a more technical breakdown, go check out this Theo video or any of RazMike's older breakdowns of Convex. And he explains it way better than I could. So I hope that helps. Hope that answers it. Hey, the best way to pay it forward, I thank you for this. Best way to pay it forward, smash that like button, share this with a friend, comment on every video, and just engage. Do all the things you can do for free. That's all I'll ever ask of you. Yeah, so I might be stand corrected. Like I thought he did a clear breakdown. I couldn't find it on his channel from a brief search. So yeah, but Theo did that more of a breakdown than I think he kind of dumps on Supabase in that video too, if I'm not mistaken. All right, I'm getting distracted. Let me finish this API key replacement for prompt browser. Keep the comments coming, keep the questions coming, but I will try to time block them for a moment here. Who was you talking about? RazMike, right? Yeah, RazMike was. I don't think I've seen Theo on Greg's channel now that I come to think of it. All right. let's pull this latest key. Paste that in there. And then let's go and pull that API. Gemini, where are you? There we go. Ooh, I also have to go into Google Cloud Console as well to enable that, don't I? API keys. Let's add YouTube data. V3. Save. We good there. Bam, bam. Save. All right, I've updated those API keys. Where do we stand with migrating from development to production convex? And I'm going to keep this terminal off screen just for a moment. I just want to make sure, yeah, it literally just exposed a few keys if I were to drag it back on screen. So we're going to keep that off screen for a second. What's up, Ash? Thanks for tuning in. How you doing? Me personally, I haven't needed to yet. I do have a video coming out though with QMD plus this Claude mem. It's in my R. Let's go see where it's at. Or is it in my idea bank? There's a lot of duplicates here. I know I have a note about it somewhere, but me personally, no, I do not. I haven't had the need to yet. Yeah, of course. Try scrolling up at the beginning of this live stream. I did drop 10 invites. I'm not sure if they were all claimed. If they were all claimed, let me know. I'll drop another 10. New rule of thumb moving forward. I will never drop a Discord invite on the YouTube bio or anything like that. You got to tune into the live streams, engage to get in. I think that's a solid rule to kind of manage things and maintain the growth as much as possible. We do have a few rules in the Discord. I mean, one is clear as day. Listen, I'm not against cryptocurrencies. However, do not come in here trying to shill your meme coins, okay? Please. I'm working on a bot that's just gonna auto ban people who don't listen to the rules of the Discord. Discord's all about building, sharing, answering questions, asking questions. And a place to hang out, you know? Eventually I'll start doing some sessions in there where I hop in the lounge and we do a screen share. And I just build a little bit more in public when I'm not live streaming. But for now, given the schedule, it's kind of tough to do that. But that will change. That will change here soon. I'm thinking maybe Saturdays might be the best day to pop in Discord and just chill in the lounge and build in public. All right, I'll get back to comments in a second. I want to make some progress here so that we can start beta testing this. Yeah, production already in adept porpoise? I thought that said portopus. Porpoise. What's a porpoise? Some of these names that these databases give you are freaking hilarious. Porpoise. Oh, wow. Interesting. For anybody curious, it looks like it's a type of shark, or a dolphin rather. Huh. Well, I'll be darned. Learned something new today. That's funny. Okay, let's go check convex. Log in, GitHub. Prompt browser. So we see development cloud, production cloud. Is the data carried over? No. We'll have to seed that data, I believe. Table's empty, table's empty. Yeah, okay. Okay. I literally just prompted it to import and it was already in the process of importing. So I'll catch up on comments while terminal's working. Yo, what's up, Dark Ice? Hey, thank you. Nice. Hey, I'm happy to hear this. I'm happy to hear this. Yeah, Wednesday is episode 2. I'm excited for it. Yeah, I think it's worth setting up for just for the sake of learning how it works. I know with recent versions of recent OC updates, they're making improvements to just come. I don't even think that's a word, what I was about to say, but just the memory compact functions. I'm still running on my main OS. Listen, I don't just blindly update my OC. I generally wait a few versions until the number of features are so overpowering that I want to take advantage of that, then I'll update. I don't just blindly update every day because I found that with the speed that it's moving, sometimes it breaks something that I have set up due to some new security feature. Everything's local for me, so I don't have to worry. That's just my approach. By all means, if you want to update every version, you're more than welcome to. I think it's better to start playing with that sooner than later. Sure. I wish I had more alpha for you, so to speak, more experience working with it. I don't, so I can't speak too much to it at this moment. Yeah, so listen, my rule of thumb is once a week, I trim my memory files. I try to find anything that's redundant that doesn't need to be in the memory that's already in a skill. Because now with most of my workflows, most of my agents, for repeatable tasks, they all now have their own skill MD, depending on the workflow, depending on the task. So every week I do this memory trimming that it's usually on my infra Saturdays that I even have a cron job for this, for it to automate itself, but it looks for anything redundant that's already, in a skill that doesn't need to be memorized, right? I always try to find ways to summarize things. Because I did run into a few weeks in, like my usage on the week was just like a straight up line in the matter of 4 hours. It was wild. Another thing I also do is 2 or 3 times throughout the day, I /new session. I like operating off of fresh sessions. I don't keep my session rolling from day to day with my main agent. So those are some tricks that you can do as well. Some other rules of thumb in operations with multi-agent teams is once you have your workspaces set up and configured with your memory files for each individual agent, is every new prompt you send them or every new prompt that gets delegated from your main agent, let's call it a COO, to your C-suite team, they always start with a fresh session as well. That helps with usage. Are you all creating web content with AI, right? Where are you all hosting? Vercel. Hey, chat, speak up. Where are you hosting? I host off of a combination of SiteGround, Railway, and Vercel right now. Those are my 3. Yeah, right here as well. I mean, listen, I haven't personally tested it. I haven't needed to, but Dark Eyes has the alpha here. What's up, Stonesy? Thanks for tuning in. Welcome back. Surreal DB. I'm going to have to look into this. Okay. Hey man, I'm going to look into this. I'm actually going to feed this to Muddy to see how we can utilize this. I'm curious on the pricing. I'm trying to keep things lean around here. Let's see. Free gives you. Okay. I think testing it with a simple OC setup would be the move. I mean, this looks cheap. I just wonder how much that would end up costing me. But no, hey, thank you for that. I'm going to check this out. I need to keep this tabbed on my just view documentation. I'm going to send that to Muddy a little bit later. Yeah, GitHub to Vercel is one of the easiest for sure. You know, I could once we're further down the road, after we set up the multi-agent team and get things wired, I think that's more of like an episode 4, episode 5 thing. So listen, the bootcamp, what you see on that website isn't set in stone. Like for this week, tomorrow, and then Wednesday before we start that bootcamp live stream, I'm going to fine tune it as well. And I'm going to fine tune the rest of the series. Like as we progress, we're fine tuning the rest of the series. This is my first time doing anything like this. Let alone on a live stream. So I'm learning as I go, I'm improving as I go, and I hope I'm doing a good enough job to bring you guys value, especially in that first episode. Yeah, so we actually did that. We're gonna do the skill once we set up the skills. I think that's planned for episode 3 or 4, but yes, we will. I'll be handing off a lot of skill templates, and I'm gonna pull some skills from Muddy OS that we're gonna incorporate into Goat OS as well. Vercel. Okay, Netlify. I almost chose Netlify over Railway for a tool of mine that I built, which by the way, Andra's in chat. If you guys need any hospitality related marketing, hit up Andra, hit up Zenobi. You can find their website on clearmud.ai. This is not a paid promotion. I just want to see my people, my friends win. She's going to be the new steward of a tool that we built. So we're in the handoff phase right now. But I'm very excited for the direction that tool's going. And I'm very excited that it's going to have somebody at the reins who knows that industry inside and out. Okay, nice. Hey, thanks for sharing. Let's go. Much love. Cloudflare and Vercel, and then locally. Okay, nice. So are you in what's the southern cities? Johannesburg? I actually have a client who was born in Africa, then moved to the States, started business in the Bay Area. Depending on if it's local, international products. Okay, nice. Okay, yeah, I remember this one too, InstaDB. Self-host, and it's free. Gotta love the free. Yeah, self-host as much as I can. I'm a big advocate for that. Get Vercel pilot. I love it. Thanks for everybody for for sharing what your workflow is. Let's go. Hey, nice. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. And like anything I can do to improve, please let me know. Like the current curriculum of how I visualized it, which we spent weeks on live streams fine tuning it. At first, I think it was planned for 10 weeks. Then we shaved it down to 8 weeks. And I was like, that doesn't feel right. A 2-month-long boot camp for something that I think we should just knock out quicker. Like then we shortened it to five weeks total. Ah, okay. See, I didn't look enough into it. So I'm gonna dig more into this. I love this. This is great. Thank you, Stonesy. Am I saying that right? Stonesy. Yeah, Stonesy. Thank you. I love this. All right. Without squirrel ado, let me go finish this deployment. Let me just finish this deployment so you guys can start, guys and girls can start extracting prompts from YouTube videos and help stress test it. Help try to break it, Yep, I still can't show this terminal. It's still exposing too many keys up top. So give me a second. Once I get to the point where I'm happy with showing the terminal, I will. All right, I'm gonna wait for that to finish. Could be longer, add more features. Okay, so I did want to try to keep it around 2 hours for the squirrel brains. And that's not an insult. I'm a squirrel brain, right? I know that if I were to go discover this and I see like an 8-hour long live stream, I wouldn't be inclined to watch the whole thing. But if I see episodes broken down into 2-hour segments, that's more digestible for me. So that was my approach based off of how my brain works and how I think most people's brains work. 4 hours episodes. Okay. Well, here's my promise to you. If I ever get to a point in an episode where we need more time and I can't finish everything I set out to finish on that episode, we'll go longer. But I think that 2.5 hour time frame we're going to keep for now. And keep in mind, this is the first of many boot camps, right? This is a test run. I'm learning how to host these with this test run. I fully plan on creating more with specific use cases where we build out specific OC setups, and chances are they won't be 5 weeks long. What I'll do is I'll just prioritize a week or two where Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we just knock it out, right? But for the sake of kind of keeping my schedule as flexible as possible, I didn't want to commit to doing it on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because a lot goes into the prep. And I wanted to make sure I had a sufficient an amount of time to prep week to week for this first series, right? But this is all good feedback. Thank you for this. Hey, thank you. You know what? I'm happy to hear it. You know, I don't set out to be an entertainer at all. I just set out to be of service more than anything. And as Greg Eisenberg says, just give the sauce. Just give out as much as I possibly can. But I'm happy to hear they're entertaining. That's good. And I can't remember my squirrel brain if I dropped in another link. So here's another link, another 10. Wait, this looks like the same exact link, doesn't it? We'll drop in another 5 here because that looked like the same link from earlier. All right, table's still empty. Hey, Greek has been following along for a while with all the various projects I've done. Thank you. I guess I do. But I know I can do better. I can always do better. I can always improve every day. Me personally, I like my two how they are. You could, in theory, right, like do what I did with Muddy OS and each module along the left, or you structure it however you want, right? Or maybe you select this part here. Oh wait, there's a pinned comment that's hiding my mouse. Give me a second. Let me unpin that. So like right here, one of my early inspirations for Clearmud's OS, I actually built on a live stream. I think it was January 7th, where this used to be a drop-down menu, and then I would switch apps. And then underlying it would change all of the tabs, right? You can get creative and do that. I like having my content separate than my operations and my systems. I like having those essentially separate. That's just my preference. For Goat OS, I think, for the sake of the bootcamp, we can combine things if you'd like. OBS, yeah, free version. I don't pay for anything. I just spent countless hours customizing it. Learning how to do these rounded corners and adding filters and whatnot. And the next thing I want to do is learn how to add a drop shadow on the video to kind of separate it like I do in my post edits. But, for now, it's good enough. Production. Let's see. Videos, prompts. Table is still empty, huh? Yeah, I want to make sure we seed the data. Let's copy everything from the dev environment to production. And then down the road, once we create a staging branch, we're going to pull from production. So we have the latest database. Okay, it says this, the data is seeded, but I call bull. Psh, you know what I mean? Because I'm literally looking at the tables, and that data is not seeded. But we're about to find out in a second. Yeah, and I think also one negative with the bootcamp that I've already discovered after 1 week is like, you should be checking on it every day. I haven't. I think we checked on it Friday and discovered the dev server's offline. And I was like, I was gonna go and fix it live, but I thought, wait a second, this will be valuable information for the public on the series. So I haven't touched it, right? I went in and I started prompting it like, hey, it's not, it's not loading, and it let me know, but I was like, wait, hold up. Let's save this for the bootcamp next Wednesday. Because I think this is valuable content if anybody ran into the same issue from day to day, right? I'm gonna trust that all the automations are running overnight, but at this point, we don't know, and I don't want to do things off camera for the bootcamp because I don't want it to be perceived that I'm trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? Essentially lie to you and pad the data and predefine things. That's not my goal. I want to show the process from start to finish as raw as I possibly can. So, yeah. Okay, Claude's just working through it here. We're just trying to get this deployed on Vercel. And then we can start doing a little bit of testing. So I will show this process as soon as possible. Just give me a second. Ghosty wants to access Apple Music. Bruh, what are you trying to do in the background? No. Not happening. Okay, I'll catch up on comments in a second. I just want to kind of make some progress with it. Constantly asking me questions here. Okay. Vercel is blocking CLI because get author needs team access. You already have that though. Okay. Alternative, settings general, change version. Let me go do that real quick. Settings general. Bro, Ghosty's popping off right now, asking me for access to everything on my system. Bro, I give you access to the folders you need access to. Stop asking. That version line. Change Node.js from. Bro. general. Yeah, I don't see that path. I don't think that's correct. I went to prompt browser, settings, general, and I do not see a change version field in there. I'm checking Git. Still don't see it there. Maybe advanced. Nope. Catch up on comment. Yo, thanks for tuning in, Derek. Yeah, I'll catch you in the Discord. Yeah, apparently it was just trying to find a Vercel auth documentation, which I don't even have stored on the system. So it's really annoying for it to try that. So, I mean, my playlist is a YouTube video, a royalty-free YouTube video. I wish I could play something different, but everything I've tried to test always hits me with a strike. And then it says your video will not be shown to everyone because of copyright restrictions. So this is the one track I've found. It's like 12 hours long for lo-fi background music that does not trigger a strike. So I just let it run. So if you have any recommendations on other music, let me know. I can try it. Yeah, for sure. I have MuddyOS already doing this, so we'll definitely incorporate this into GoatOS. Yeah, depending on the project, yeah, this is my normal workflow, for sure. I think for the sake of the bootcamp, I was going to keep it simple with 2, maybe 3 separate agents with their own workspaces. Yeah, I was going to go with what I know. I can create more, but that was going to be the approach. Yeah, so GoatOS, I'm eventually going to, I'm not going to exit. I'm going to use it after the fact. I might have to tweak it a little bit, but I want to use it for client work, and I'm still in between 2 different approaches right now. Either creating a separate agent with its own workspace, with its own underlying marketing team, et cetera, or having a shared engineering team, a shared marketing team, a shared, et cetera, right? Like, that's the one thing like I'm thinking here, because I would much rather feed one agent, its memory, its user context, all of its files, all the information about that client and past work I've done for them, versus having to feed that to the main agent and then having that shared across every division, right? I'm still in between the approach I want to take there. And I think majority wins it with what people want to see. I hope to show you this live in a moment. I hope you guys can start testing this. Let's just, let me just focus here a little bit. Okay, that should trigger a deployment. Let's go see if that's working. Hey, let's go. Let me test this first. Yeah, there's no data. All right, it looks like it is live. But as I mentioned before, the data is not seeded from dev to production convex database. It's not showing any past runs on here, and it should be. Close that, close that, close that. All right, we're waiting for that to redeploy. Yeah, so, you know, my goal with the bootcamp was essentially to recreate all of my knowledge and experience into building out Muddy OS. Since it wasn't a one-shot prompt, it was a lot of back and forth, a lot of trial and error, was to rebuild it in GoatOS, a lot of the core functionality. Yes, it will. So by the end of episode 3, we should have a multi-agent team fully wired together. And then episode 4 is when we start creating custom skills per workflow to replace cron jobs. Hey, right on. Welcome. Welcome. Hey, this is a good note for improvement. I'll have Muddy's actually my Discord admin. I'll have him handle this. He handles most of the changes for me. Although, you know, most you guys can't prompt him or anything like that, but I will send that note. I kind of liked it in the chat just to let people know, to encourage to wave new people, but I kind of understand the approach of keeping it separate. Yeah, the Discord's very much a work in progress. We're kind of building as we need. Trying to keep it as simple as possible is the goal, right? Redeploy triggered. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's wait for this most recent build to come. Bam, bam. Hard refresh. Should be live in a second, right? Browse. No, there's still no videos. Yep, there's still no videos there. Isn't there a command we can run just to manually copy everything over from dev to production on Convex? You should have CLI access for that. Let me know if you don't. Let's configure it. All right, it's almost ready. It is almost ready. I'm just trying to make sure like all of the prompts that we've pulled from all these videos show up in the live version before I set up domain forwarding and all that. So give me a second. And we should go live shortly with the prompt browser. Well, we'll do a quick security audit and then we'll go live. And then I think for phase 2 is when I'll incorporate OAuth so that you can log in and save prompts and kind of create your own library of prompts. Deployment protection is enabled. Site behind a single site is not accessible. Well, duh. I didn't know I could enable that in the free account. Interesting. Build and deploy. Okay. All right, I just did that. I'll go ahead and do a hard refresh and check. We don't have to redeploy, do we? Let me go check those variables to make sure you're pointing to the right database here. Yeah, you are. Okay. So we shouldn't have to redeploy, right? Yeah, still nothing. Interesting. Let's go back to prompt browser. Go hit up this. Hit the main. No, it's still not populating. And I'm going to manually go into Convex to look at those tables. So I see prompts and videos tables are still empty on adept porpoise. I can confirm I'm looking at the right database. This is how I know you didn't properly seed this information. I guess I'll just manually do this if it's really going to be that difficult. There's also 2 missing tables, abuse counters and extract locks. Goat OS is, it's just an OS I'm building from scratch, kind of like Muddy OS, but it's going to look a little different. But the core functionality of how everything's wired together, I'm just calling it Goat OS because with this OpenClaw setup, it was one that I deployed to help me troubleshoot one of my older setups. And that's all the context that it had. And I thought, wow, this is a perfect backup to use. So I let it lay dormant. I hid the VM, put it to sleep essentially. And then once this bootcamp came around, I was like, ooh, I can just use Goat OS. It's bare. All it has is memory from, I think, February 2nd of helping me troubleshoot why Muddy wasn't coming back online once. And I thought it was a great place to start. So I called him the GOAT because he saved me from hours and hours and hours of doing it myself. So I just called him the greatest of all time. So that's why I called it Goat OS. Really just comes from the experience of what happened and why I built that VM in the first place. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. We're essentially going to rebuild the core functionality and all the features in Muddy OS in Goat OS. Yeah, exactly. Oh, thanks for answering. Yeah. Interesting. You're talking about making my own OpenClaw fork. Is that what you're saying? I personally might not go in this direction. Not a bad idea though. Thanks for the idea. But if that's what you're talking about, I probably wouldn't take it in that direction personally. Because then that comes with the responsibility of maintaining that fork, right? Then it turns into an IT support gig, which I retired from that industry for a reason. Yeah, like this gets into forking it, and yeah, I've just been focused, and I think you might be. I haven't checked the live viewer count. I try not to keep tabs on that, so I'm not sure how many people are here. But I swear, if there's more viewers than there are likes, we're doing something wrong here. So smash that like button if you aren't already. I do all this for free, so do the things that you can do for free, which is just smash the like, share it with a friend. Are you using VO for the main design build and then giving it to you? No, I'm not. I have sometimes pulled the code base from a VO build that I like or screenshot a VO build that I like. But no, I do not take that approach. I build out my own front-end design skills based off of templates, and then I improve on them. Oh, but you're asking Ice. Hey, I love this chat asking chat questions. I don't have to ask, or I don't have to answer, so I'll stop answering since you guys are having a conversation. Forgive me. I'm going to get back to deploying this, so I'm just going to hide chat for a bit. All right, so that should be working now. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Rue? Yeah, so you should. And so the bootcamp technically already started on Wednesday. We started with a fresh install. I'll show you here. I had this old setup, so we started with this one. And I use Opus 4.6 as my primary LLM. But from the start of the bootcamp, it was a fresh OS. So aside from helping me troubleshoot an old setup, you'll be able to follow along. Just have your LLM set up and then you can follow from episode 1. Let's go check production now. It should have all the same data. Bro. I mean, it's taking all the right steps. I just had to go into, to help Claude a little bit. I just went into my Convex DB and I asked easy way to migrate all data from dev to prod. And it gave me the step-by-step. And instead of me doing it, I just copied this entire field and fed it into the terminal. And hopefully it did discover something it was doing wrong. So we'll see what happens here. Check the database now. All right. There we go. Now everything's there. And there we go. Now the tool. Okay, wonderful. It's working. All right, so let me just do some little DNS magic here. And this will be ready for you guys to test. I probably should run a test first, shouldn't I? Before I speak too soon, so let's give it a go. Let's, you know, Theo generally doesn't have extractable prompts from most of his videos. So let's go to another one of Greg's. Interesting, he has a recent one. Let's just go ahead and pull prompts from this right away. Extract. Let's make sure this works. Ooh. Well, I'm glad I tested this. And let's go check those console logs. Status of 500. Damn, I really wanted to finish this before a bio break, but I'm gonna have to take a quick little 5-minute sesh. So I'll be right back. Let me just catch up on the comments. And then we should have this live within the next 20 minutes max. So I'm not stopping the stream until we push this live. I love it. You guys are going back and forth. This is great. I don't need to answer these. What are you referencing here? Is there like a universal one that people are using? I have my own that I don't mind sharing that we're going to share in Goat OS once we fine tune that. I'm going to be handing out a lot of, I think, useful skills from Muddy OS and Goat OS once we get to that episode. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I'm going to look into like why that was. Was it like Convex's fault? Was it, you know, code base fault? Like whose fault was it? Did somebody hack it, right? Like, did somebody find a vulnerability? I'm very curious as to the why. Hey, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. All right, quick bio break. I'll be back in 5. All right. Thanks for bearing with me there. Gotta make sure don't drink too much coffee before the stream. Should be good for another test here. I'm gonna set that type A record. Already has one, huh? There it is. Delete. Let's go clear that cache.
Whoa.
What's that?
I just built a budget.
When I exposed my API keys earlier, that was the issue. Convex deployment was pointing to the old IPA API keys that were revoked. So now we should be working end to end here. Let's wait for this deployment to go through. Wonderful, and we are live. So let me just enable something really quickly. Let's see the prompts it extracted. Let's see. Creating a lockdown system prompt for image generation models to maintain spatial consistency when designing rooms. Keep the room size consistent. Keep the rooms indoors in the same places for every generated image. Set the primary directive for the AI agent Larry to take over marketing tasks. That's such a simple prompt. I feel like we can improve the logic. This is why this tool is going to be in beta until further notice. We're going to fine tune this together. Tag me in Discord, tag me on Twitter for any improvements, any discoveries, any bugs. I'm just doing one final thing here. Just give me a second. Double check on comments. Dark ice. Yeah, I know. It's a bit ridiculous. How many times I've seen that as well. It's a bit ridiculous. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to have to go check it out just out of curiosity to see the difference of its skill versus my skill that I have. See if I can make any improvements to it. That's cool. Thanks for sharing. We're on track. 5 more minutes. That's my target. 5 more minutes, we'll be live with it. Okay, it looks like we're just gonna, I wish I can show this, but I can see one of my API keys exposed on screen. So we're essentially enabling turnstile is a Cloudflare free CAPTCHA alternative. We're doing a little bit of rate limiting and fixing some minor bugs. Then we'll be good. Okay, all I have to do, let's see. Nice. So we just made some of these minor changes here. No API keys exposed, no database manipulation, rate limiting, turnstile, I need to go set that up, transcripts hidden, and security headers. Wonderful. So I'm gonna go set that turnstile key, turnstile. I'm just going to Cloudflare real quick and do this. Let's call this prompt browser.net, add host names. And how else does it want me to configure this? And we'll go do one more test for production. Let's see. Go to one of his older videos. Let's see, I know there was one with an insane amount of those might be so outdated that the prompts aren't going to be useful. So let's go to something a little newer. Yeah, you know what? Let's go with this one, the iOS app one. Oh my God, base 44. All right, let's just wait. 1 minute to go. Okay, great. So prompt browser is officially live. Oh, come on. Why does this still have interesting? I spoke too soon. I mean, clearly it's working on my other browser, so that could just be an Arc thing. You can see here Cloudflare confirms. We can paste in a YouTube URL. So please visit this website if you can on your end. See if it's live. Help me test. I think that's just a caching issue with Arc there. And we are testing. Now, I have some simple rules in place. We do have some rate limiting in place, so people can't abuse it. But you know, a few of the rules I hit was if the video's already been ran, right, extracted from, it won't extract it a second time, essentially, so we don't waste API credits. Additionally, if you try to run a video that's not AI or, you know, doesn't have extractable prompts, it will let you know that this is not, you know, a qualified video to pull prompts from. So let me know if it works on your end. Run a video, run a test. It's free. We'll see how this goes. I'll write a little Twitter post. I'll tag Greg, just kind of showing that anybody can go extract prompts from his video. I'll kind of do a post for everybody over the next week. But yeah, I hope you find some value in this, and I hope it works first and foremost. I don't like how this looks here, but you know what? That's fine. That's fine. But I'll make sure that with each video we do, we automatically run our video. Weird is Arc browser. Am I really gonna have to clear my cookies and cache for this? That's really annoying. Let's go Arc. Where's history at? I honestly only use Arc browser because it allows me to create this like highlighter-like border, which I love for videos and live streams. Outside of videos and live streams, I personally do not use it. Right on. Oh, you know, that's one thing I didn't even test is mobile friendly. We built this on desktop. I didn't even see if it's Hey, looks good though. Yeah, looks good. I mean, the top menu bar on mobile can be optimized. It definitely conflicts a little bit. Hey, thanks for this. Yeah, so we got to make sure this is responsive friendly. So we got to fine tune it for mobile. The top menu bar conflicts with the title. So I think having a hamburger menu style top right with the 3 dashes to expand the menu options would be ideal. And then otherwise on the browse, everything looks good for now. I think the search on mobile should just be a search icon. It would clean up that bar. Yeah, just think mobile friendly. Desktop version looks great. Hey, thank you. Yeah, I was just vibing it real time. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, test it. If you come across an AI video from another creator, you run it. The beauty of this tool, and I hope that it remains free. I hope people don't abuse it. I hope it stays nice and secure. But my goal for this tool is to be a public library that people can see any video that was run. They don't have to run them to see them, right? So if you run a video and somebody else comes and finds the tool and then sees all of the possible videos that have been, extracted from, they can see what you extracted from, right? Layer 2, we're going to do an OAuth setup to where you can log in, save your prompts from your favorite videos, et cetera, and have essentially your own prompt library on the prompt browser. But that's phase 2. Let's get through testing. Let's debug it. And it should have told you that it'll probably give you an error because I already ran that down here. I really hope it didn't let you run that twice, right? Because we already have that. Oh, and this is still the local version. Let me go live here. Interesting. Even on my other browser, it's trying to tell me. I wonder if it's just that cached version. You know what? I think I know what it is. Yeah, it works just fine with www. It's just not properly forwarding promptbrowser.net to www. Interesting. Thanks for the find. I'm going to look into this right now. I'm actually going to personally try to do it again to see what error I run into. Briefs delivered every morning. Bam. So it went straight to the prompt. So I have a feeling it tried to run it. Did it load the prompt? Did it load this instantly for you, or did it go through that kind of loading screen that I have with the matrix characters? Because it went straight to it for me. So I believe it does validate. I'm just going to confirm with Claude here. Hey, we're live. I'm just testing duplicates. I tried running a video that we've already extracted prompts from, and it just loads the video immediately. I just want to make sure that that logic is in place, that we're not burning through API usage through Transcript API, pulling a transcript that we've already pulled, right? We should prevent that type of double usage. And maybe, it's a video ID checker, right? Before you pull the transcript, I think this is a layer that you can add in. And you cross-reference if that YouTube video ID already exists in our database, you stop the process, right? And say, we already ran this. And then it essentially allows the user to click into that extracted video. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's running it a second time because it would be showing duplicates. I think it's detecting that we have that already live, and then it just automatically forwards you. We're gonna see here. I'm just gonna do some more tests. And yeah, I'm looking at the processed videos, and the API credits are not going up from those duplicate runs. So it is detecting it. It's just not notifying you that the video had been run in the past. That's the issue. It detects it via video ID. I can confirm that no additional API credits have been used, which is great. Awesome. Wonderful. So that's in place. Yeah, and I just went to go check Transcribe API's dashboard, and I can see that no additional API requests were called for those duplicate videos. So I think that's already in place, but I think having a notification, right, that this video has already been extracted from, right, and then allowing the user to click on that video. Okay, so it already says duplicate guard is already in place. That's a good question. I didn't have a preset number of prompts, right? Because I vibe prompt the process. It was very much a vibe prompt stream. I did prep 3 master prompts for the stream, but I didn't want to follow them to the T. I'm also seeing that my camera's off because I wanted to show you the natural evolution of building the agent out rather than just giving it some insanely detailed prompt. All right, camera's back. But I think it's solid. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push it into the wild and then start testing. Yeah, so we're pushing a mobile responsive friendly version live as we speak. So we'll check that. Yeah, just tag me on socials, drop in Discord, let me know what you find. I appreciate you helping beta test this tool. And I hope it brings value to you. So any notes you have, that would be great. It is getting towards dinner time for me though. And I think we've been at it for close to 3 hours. So I am going to call it here. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning into this live stream. If you haven't already, you know what to do. And Wednesday, we kick off episode 2 of the OpenClaw Bootcamp. I don't have the screen open. Listen, I'm starving. I got to make sure I start eating a little something before the stream so I'm not so eager to end. And yeah, thanks for being here. Catch y'all Wednesday. Thank you to everybody who was in here interacting, asking questions. What's up, Dark? Welcome to the channel. Hina, GD Hina. What's up, True Blue? Thank you. I'm going to try to thank everybody. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Story, Chris. And for some reason, this social stream ninja won't let me scroll through the entire chat. Interesting. What changed here? It's allowed me to do this in the past. Huh. So I'm sorry to everybody else who commented. I can't see it in the chat. But yeah, have a great rest of your day. Hope everybody has a great start to the week. And I'll catch you Wednesday. Happy building. Episode 2 hype. Let's go. W's.